I can finally announce our new IGF in-game food, vegan-friendly meal replacement designed for gamers. It's high in plant proteins with absolutely no fillers like maltodextrin. And it only takes seconds to make. With 20 servings, you're looking at a price of 1.99 euros per meal. And we're launching with 4 amazing flavors. We have our lazy lemon cheesecake, our killer vanilla, our chocolate hazelnut golem, and our raspberry reload. Try them out now by clicking the link in the video.
Let's hop into the Sanguine depths. Let's go over here. Boom. So here, everyone in the team is playing dwarfs. So we're going to this pool, okay? One of the things that you need to worry about here, you can see the animated weapon from the skirmishers. This is also something that I track the cooldown off, similar to the like some of the more important abilities.
Has just subscribed.
So this gets fierce sigils, and we stop the animated weapon. The animated weapon is very, very dangerous. It does a lot of damage to the tank, so make sure to stop those. That's why I'm following the tank here. You can see I have a weak R here. I always try to DP at the end of the cast because there's 2 skirmishers and there's a chance the other one will also cast and I can get 2. So that's why I always DP at the end. You can see I DP'd on 0.2. But I managed to only get 1 on the pull, so there will be another weapon. You can see it spawning here, weapon spawn. I pop my mirror images, of course, for aggro. I pop the Ring of Frost to just stop, get a nice clean stack up initially. And this is a pull that's PI and Night Fae. And no bloodlust.
Subscribed. Why not DB both?
I wish I could do it. Try to help out my tank here, but sometimes these mobs are a little bit annoying. You can see I also do the late one there, DB, and then we call up. So that's always I DB first, then I call for Ken's blind light. You can see his blind light goes out, and he stops him as well. So we make sure that we take care of our tank and try to mitigate as much damage as possible, so that he can survive, making his life easier. So here we do, so one of the things that we talked about and what was like very, you know, obviously here there's a lot of people that did shadow melt skips or anything like that. What we said was like, we're losing so much time on like dragging mobs to the side, letting our Holy Paladin run through and things like that just to be able to use a DPS potion. And what people didn't think about really is the fact that you're sitting here with 10 stacks of the lantern and every single second counts. You don't want to run into a situation where you're doing like a skip, and in order to be able to do that skip, you waste 10 seconds of the buff to get a DPS potion. Obviously getting 10 seconds of this buff instead is more worth than that DPS potion. So we're just like, fuck it, gonna use a DPS potion here. Now we're gonna use our Invis pod here instead to just be able to run through without any damage loss, without any time loss, sorry. Here we start off with the Gluterous Ticks that comes from the beginning. We do all of this trash with the boss.
Jet Hunt has just subscribed.
The initial kicks, blue is me, mirrors is cross, Jimmy is skull. Okay, this is the Bloodlust pull. Notice that I do a single target combust. We start off the silence rune on the ticks, because when the ticks are draining, they get a stack of their damage done whenever they die and explode. I follow with a DP here. I pop my altar time. Everyone dwarfs on the 5 stack of bursting, and everyone soaks. The reason why I also do a single target combust is because we're gonna proc Pride from this brute right here. The Umbral Crash, as you can see, it actually heals the brute if you stand in it, but it doesn't really do a lot of damage. So we don't want to kill him too early, because then the Pride will spawn mid boss fight, and that's gonna look like a wipe real quick. So we stand in the Umbral Crash to actually just heal the brute, as you can see, so it doesn't die too early. That's also one of the reasons why I did a single target combust. Outside of the fact that we don't need the AoE, it also meant that we would do too much damage to everything and the brute would die. So I went for a single target because it was the perfect balance between, you know, not killing the brute and proccing Pride early. So I did a single target bust on this boss here. You can see we kill off the boss and we get the Pride. Very nice and easy transition here. Looking very, very clean. I actually get my combustion ready here, but I cannot use it because that would mean that I would get a very late combust on the next pull, which would mean a late combust and a follow-up pull. So I just needed to hold it here. I could not use it. So here we're just using our MC. Something that Jimmy does well. I think I was looking at a lot of the other DKs, and they don't really use the AM set so much, and it's such a great cooldown for the prides. So yeah, Robin goes and snacks the Sentinel outside and the Overseer pack behind the Sentinel as well, the one that's next to the Lantern. I pop my Ring of Frost, of course. It's a really good toolkit to have to be able to stack up mobs and not let them like cast, like stop some initial cast. So we do the Grip Sigil into a Silence Rune from Robin. After the Silence Rune, he does a Fear Sigil to stop them. I follow up with a Dragon's Breath, and then we do single kicks. We don't want to use the Blinding Light here because we want to use it in the next point. So that's pretty much the usage of cooldowns that we did in this. We get a perfectly timed Master Spell coming out from Mirrors. And here we're a little bit too fast. So everyone's just not doing any damage. This is the only thing that's like really annoying with Sanguine Depths, is that there's too many hard pulls really just back to back. So we're just sitting here hitting the Sentinel, letting me get some cooldown reduction on my combustion, similar to the DK as well. We also need to wait a little bit for his cooldowns. So that's why I just sit there and hit the Sentinel. So we wait a little bit. Usually, like when I have 15 seconds on my shifting power, that's usually a good time for Robin to go. Everyone has pre-assigned kicks. You can see the skull going out, the blue going out, and also Mirrors the cross going out. Everyone knows exactly which oppressor they need to focus, so that we can also use single kicks as a rotation of stops on the mobs. Again, we start off the Ring of Frost. Ken, he goes in and clicks the Lantern. And then we start off with the Silence Rune again from Robin. And then because I run into, like, sometimes when I shift in power here, I could have done the DB here, but sometimes I run into the situation where I'm shifting powering and I don't really want to DB because I'm shifting power. So what we do is that we use the Blinding Light after the Silence Rune. You see the Blinding Light coming out. Follow with a Dragon's Breath. Boom. I blink out, I also back in, break the chains, get full HP. Now we follow with single kicks after the Blinding Light. Now we're gonna use Mirror's Fear. And then we're gonna follow up using single stops like Hodge and Horror. You can see the Horror cooldown, the Hodge cooldown. So pretty much using all of the groups like utility in order to make these pulls happen while mitigating as much damage as possible. Now we're gonna refresh our Lantern by killing this Pride. Mirrors is gonna destroy this one like crazy. He's doing so much damage to this Pride actually. With nothing really fancy here, we're killing this off, getting the Pride buff, and we're getting a refresh. Now we have insane amounts of damage. Now this pull is a pretty massive pull, but it usually works out because we have 10 stacks and we have Pride buff as well. So I open up fast before the pull is stacked up, because my job is to kill this Overseer here before he does his shackles. I should get hit by the Tornado here, I instantly pop a cooldown, I pop a healing potion, and also get a heal from Ken. Spell myself because the curse goes off. Jimmy's gonna kick the Warden next. The Scribes actually do a lot of damage on a 20 fortified Sanguine. So this was like a massive pull where we went outside and we got the Warden pack as well as the Scribe pack next to it. So this is just like a huge pull. Then we go into this pull. This is kind of like a recovery pull, I guess you can say. And we're a little bit too fast because you can see the patrol is in the back. And if you pull that too early, we would also chain the Warden. So we're killing off here, refreshing on the Quill Feather here. I'm gonna be Dragon's Breathing the pools. And then we're gonna place the pools outside. I see the curse going out on Mirrors to dispel him. And now Robin is gonna do a very sneaky positioning of these mobs. You can see that he's taking it out here. Look at where he places the pools. Very clean. He places the pools outside and then drags them back in onto the Lantern. No pools in melee, no pools around the Lantern. Very good kiting and mob placement right there. So this is where it actually went a little bit wrong in our run. Mainly because we're waiting. Robin makes the call. let's
Ginginut
wait.
has just subscribed.
Let's wait with killing this guy because I need my fear back. So we're waiting a couple seconds for Robin to get his fear back. So we're just like jumping around, not really doing super much efficient damage. You can see that I'm like holding half globals here. Just like standing AFK, waiting for Robin. He says go. And I think this is the first time we ever waited for his script. And this is kind of like what happens after that. We actually miss the refresh of our 10 stack. And this is a massive pull. This is an absolutely massive pull. Everyone's assigned to kicks. The Warden is Jimmy and Robin rotating. The Furies are me and Maris. You can see I'm blue, Maris cross. The first initial Sentinel cast is early, so I always spell steal that. And then there's no stops needed. The Warden even goes out. Thankfully, it's on me, so I can block it instantly. We kick off the curses, and then Robin always does a grip here. And then we're just about to go absolutely ham here. But we actually end up dropping our stacks here. You can see here, we don't refresh our 10 stacks. So we finish off the pull without 10 stacks here. This is a pull where we dwarf. So I dwarf the stacks. I could have held my dwarf a little bit and not run into the situation where I had 4 stacks. Maris dies and ends up not getting his 10 stacks back. So that's the only reason why it kind of like works out, because even though we lost our 10 stacks, there's 10 mobs in that pull, so we get our 10 stacks back. In this situation, that was good. But Maris only has 4. So normally when we're really quick in our fast runs, I just have to, because I get everyone's blasting, but I cannot use my combustion in this pack, or on this boss, sorry, because that will mean that the next pull will be a little bit sloppy. So I just ended up like holding my combustion. But Maris he only has 4 stacks, and the damage seemed a little bit lower. So I was like, in this moment, I was like, fuck it, I'm sending it. So I combust into shifting. Reason why I did shifting early, even though it's not the way you should do it in the rotation normally, I do it because I want my shifting power back earlier next pull. It was very important in order to get a nice boss for like afterwards. So that's why I did it like this. Because you'll see in a second when this boss is dead, that we're doing pretty much all of the trash around the boss room with the boss, and you need good damage to be able to pull that off, and that's why I did it like this. But as you can see, it paid off. Because we had low damage, I do have my combustion back in 9 seconds, and my shifting power is lined up with the combustion because I sent it first global. That's like just kind of like in the moment's decisions, but because we've been rehearsing these runs so much, it was a decision that I felt was right. So everyone starts off with initial kicks. I actually didn't proc my pre-trinket. What am I doing? When am I procking trinket? No, I shifted before popping trinket. Okay, I fucked up actually. I didn't prop my badge before I combusted. So here we do the sinus rune. I don't have ice block, so I go in 2 stacks. I shift, I alter time, and I don't even drop. What did we actually pop there? I think we popped AM, I think. Did we pop AM? But yeah, this boss actually hurts quite a lot. Notice that we have this mob CC'd right here. And the mob that poop on the ground, that mob got hotched by Ken. So that we completely stop that, so we don't get any pools on the ground, because that's obviously a super annoying mechanic for me to deal with, and they're gonna lose uptime, and they're gonna lose damage. We're gonna proc Pride from the suppressor. That's why we CC it. We don't want to have it on pull. We want to proc the Pride as the boss dies. So here's my second combustion in just a second. I actually fucked up there. Like normally you want to send the combustions instantly, but sometimes I just send out too many fire blasts before my combustion comes out, and I'm sitting there, fuck, I sent out too many fire blasts and my combustion is ready. And then you want to delay your combustion even more, because you obviously want to get your fire blast charges back so that you can get an effective combustion out. But in some situations that means that, you know, you're gonna get your combustion back too late for the follow-up pull. In this case, it's fine though. So here we just rotate kicks on the oppressor. Very nice and easy. And we just finish off the boss. Then when we finish off this oppressor, the pride is gonna spawn. And we're gonna do the next pack with the pride right here. And then we're gonna go into the thing that you guys have been wanting to see, which is the gauntlet being done in 2 pulls. So I put the Ring of Frost here. I put my green mark and focus. And here I do a single target combust. Again, the reason why I do single target bust here is because an AoE combustion would not give me enough cooldown reduction to be able to get my combustion back for the gauntlet. So single target combust it is. Then we go over to AoE now. Now it's perfectly fine. We rotate the kicks. Then we can have Robin kick next and Jimmy kick next. We stopped all the wax souls here. There's good usage of Silence Rune. It's good usage of single kicks. We get a perfectly timed master spell. Mara's always on point with the MDs. So this is where the cool part comes in. So everyone has an acolyte each. I Dragon's Breath them early. So these acolytes are actually really annoying. Like, so I go in, I put a Ring of Frost here. And then we go out, we do our single kicks to make sure they come in. I wait with shifting. Everyone gets 9 stacks of bursting, but we dwarf instantly. I don't know if you guys saw that, but just look at that. Like, look how nice this look. Look here, 9 stacks. Look here at the raid frames, 9 stacks, 9 stacks, 9 stacks. Look the millisecond after. Who's everyone gone? Obviously Jimmy pre-MSs, but both me, actually what did Varus do? Did he get a dispel? It seems like actually. But he dwarfed late with dispersion, or? Wait, what? Let me see that again. Didn't even see what happened there. The raid frames. I don't want to shifting because if I shifting power, I'll be channeling my shifting while we have 10 stacks of bursting. So we have 10 stacks. Oh, he did dwarf. Okay, never mind. He did dwarf. Yeah, good. He dwarfed really quick. So everyone dwarfs. Jimmy pre-MSs. Robin gets a dispel. Everyone played good. It's as it should be. But obviously that's one thing that the other teams didn't. They didn't bring all of this trash to the first lantern. You know, like they kill off the Carl and then they go into, and then they drag it afterwards, and so they end up not having the lantern from the beginning. But we go straight into the lantern stacks from the start, and that's obviously
_Gino has just subscribed.
That's obviously a huge advantage, right? So here there's nothing to worry about. We get the Silence Rune coming in from Robin from the Acolytes. We follow with a Dragon's Breath into a Blinding Light. And then everything's dead. We did manage to... we pushed him right as he did his Gloom Squall. But we didn't want to risk it, of course. So here we actually tried to do a pull for a long time.
Has just subscribed.
What we tried to make work is that we wanted to do Karl plus the Skirmishers, Sentinels, and the Guardians and the Hunts Masters. But we ended up saying no. It was too hard to pull off. We failed it too many times, and we were like, seeing the other teams' runs, we thought that we were not gonna lose, even if we played this part a little bit slower. So this is what we did, right? We go in.
Fudgist has just subscribed.
I just wait for I do a Frostbolt just to pre-proc. I look here, a Dragon's Breath again, the weapons from the Skirmishers, and then I go in and I do a single target bust. Actually, why the fuck am I flimstring? Wait. Oh yeah, true. I do a mix. Yeah, I swapped to doing a mix. A mix was good, that's why. I did mix AoE and mix single target. I remember this. The skirmishes are dead. Sentinels is low. And then we want to drag the Sentinel and the rest of the mobs into the Huntsmasters. I could have done more single target in this case, to be honest. They kind of got overkilled a little bit. You can see here just one small thing. You know, obviously to proc my legendary, I had a couple options here. I could blink, I could use the Chain Explosion, but in this case you can see that I'm just something that I do a lot when you don't need to use a kick anyway in a dungeon, but you want to proc your disciplinary command. You can use counterspell as an arcane school. So in this case I just used freeze and counterspell in order to proc it. I actually end up delaying my combustion because I proc this disciplinary command. It doesn't matter too much. I remember that I did a fucking shitty combustion on the last boss. I was so sad when I saw it. You can see my disciplinary command is on 5-second cooldown, so I cannot combust until 5 seconds. Here I do have time frostbolt, and then we send it. Kill off the Pride, and we go into the last boss with Pride buff and everything Ashen Hallow and all the cooldowns. You get everything off, and we're just gonna absolutely destroy this boss. What the fuck is my targeting dude? So I lost here, and then we just blast. I actually trolled here. Look here. I dwarf because I look at the animation of the guy. Look here. I dwarf. This millisecond before the bleed gets applied. Like, I was so dumb. So I just like, but look here, this was so dumb. Look here, like this is where it was bad of me. I think I was like focused so much on the, like look at my face as well. Like I'm like, huh? This is like a confused mic face. What the fuck just happened? Why did the dwarf not go off? So I block instead. That procs my disciplinary command. I'm sitting with no fire blast charges right now, and that's obviously a tilter. So I go in and do this combust here with a little bit less fire blast charges. So it's obviously a little bit worse combustion. There we proc the trinket, and we have to do a little bit of a scorch combust. Not the end of the world, but still not perfect. Not perfect play. And then here the boss is dead, 46 seconds. If I didn't fuck up, it could have been maybe 42 seconds. So that was the Sanguine depths. 17 minutes. And, well, what did it finish at? 17:29. You wanna hear the nerd scream? Let's fucking go, dude! Clean, man, clean! Holy fuck, dude.
Let's go!
Lock and load.
Let me hear you say!